It's that time again.
Watch out!
Here it comes.
Watch out!
Here it comes.
Watch out!
Here it comes.
Welcome to the Courtside Podcast. I'm your host, Wayno, and with me, the People's Champ, Vinrock, Vince. Welcome back to the show.
Maybe you should say that as Wayne O.
Wayne O. The voice is slowly coming back. My voice is slowly getting there, so...
Having a name like Rodney O.
Rodney O. Oh, please don't. Please don't. And we're joined, of course, by the third anchor, Stu Benson.
Is that all I am here? The third anchor.
Well, I meant that in a good way.
Is it a good thing?
I thought so.
Third wheel, and am I third?
No, not like that. I didn't mean like that.
He's a rich anchor.
Doesn't that mean we're all anchors, though? Did I just insult everyone?
I guess. I don't know. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Whoa. How do I get myself out of this one?
And I'm out of here.
Well, of course, last week we had the guide to the Eastern Conference for this season coming up. This week, it's dunk, layup, airball time for the Western Conference. We're going to review all 15 teams. Vince, stay with me. Exciting times ahead.
Trying.
Let's start off with the Dallas Mavericks, guys. With their starting lineup, I just remembered how much I absolutely murdered names last week.
We didn't notice.
The Courtside fans were very, very generous and didn't give me any stick about it, though, so I appreciate that from everyone. But we're going to kick off with the Dallas Mavericks. Their starting five, Yogi Ferrell, Seth Curry, Wesley Matthews, Harrison Barnes, Dirk Nowitzki. On the bench, Nerlens, I can't get enough money, Noel, Dennis Smith, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell, and JJ Barrera. I think Dennis Smith.
Oh, man. You love a Powell, don't you?
I think Dennis Smith's got the starting spot. But look, let's talk about this Dallas team. If you're a Mavericks fan, you've got to be excited about your rookie point guard.
That and the fact that Dirk is still playing excites me. I think it is Derek Smith, isn't it? Dennis Smith?
Dennis.
Oh, my God. Yes, Dennis Smith Jr. He looks the goods. I don't tell him pre-season, but he does look the goods. Are they going to be better? Probably not. Maybe 5-10 wins better.
Yeah.
But they're not making playoffs at all. Clearly in a rebuild. Dirk's hoping to play another few years, which is good. But yeah, like I said, clearly in a rebuild. They've got some nice pieces, but it's going to be a while before they're back up top.
Yeah, look, I think they epitomise Coach Carlisle's sort of sentiment last year that they're a really good, shitty team. I think they're going to be okay. I think that they're going to surprise a few teams. I like this sort of mishmashy lineup. It reminds me of, their teams that went deep in the playoffs. They had solid contributors at every position. I think that's what they've got, with the exception of declining Dirk. I don't think you've got an all-star amongst them, but I like what they've got. I think they're going to be surprisingly competitive.
Do you guys think Nerlens Noel gets the start? I mean, obviously there was a big hoo-ha in the off-season with Nerlens and his contract, obviously after the max deal. Ends up conceding and signing this sort of weak one-year deal. I just wonder if that's maybe a result of Mark Cuban. Maybe it's a kind of, well, look, I'll pay you, but, show me something this year.
I'd definitely start him. He's I love the way he blocks shots. I like the way he plays defense. He rebounds okay. He could do a bit more on the rebounding side, but it's contract year, man. I'd start him. I'm hoping he busts out and just rebounds his ass off and plays really hard, because he'll get one thing about Mark Cuban. He will reward you if you play well and hard and do what he asks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he definitely deserves it, and take a chance on him. Why not? I mean, you know what he's capable of. The guy's an absolute jack in the box when it comes to jumping and rebounding and defending shots. Plus, his offensive game is definitely maturing, and it will only get better with more court time. I was kind of sneaky hoping, except for the fact that he was restricted, that the Lakers could have grabbed him on the cheap and given him something better as a 1-year show and prove. Because he, in terms of age and athleticism, I think he fits our style of ball better than what the Mavs will produce. But I'd start him for sure. I love him.
I mean, look, I'm pretty excited to watch Dennis Smith this season. I think he's got a good chance of taking out that Rookie of the Year award. He's definitely going to get the minutes, and like you said, Vince, I know it's only preseason so far, but looking the goods so far. Super quick and super athletic. I just feel like Dallas aren't going to make the playoffs because this all comes down to Dirk and what kind of form he's in. And I just feel like with this squad, I mean, although I do feel like they're better than last year, and hopefully Nerlens Noel does come out looking to prove a point, but for Dallas with this squad, it's just going to come down of what they can get out of Dirk, and he's a little bit older. Can he stay healthy is one thing, but it's what level are we going to get out of Dirk? And for them to make the playoffs, I just feel like he's got to have to play at a pretty high level to carry this squad.
I'll tell you now, they'll only expect about 15 points a game out of Dirk, and there's no way he's playing more than 30 minutes. So I think it's going to be more of just the whole team's just got to play hard. I mean, he can take the key shots down the stretch, but he's going to need help.
I'm going to give him a layup, just a little. I'm nowhere close to the rim, JJ Barea layup. But do you guys feel, just before you give your answer, do you guys feel like maybe Carlisle's lost the team a little?
No.
Nah.
No?
Why?
Why? What makes you say that?
I just feel like maybe it's just the injuries, but I just feel over the last 2 seasons, I just feel like the players just aren't really responding to him.
I reckon you're about the only one in the whole world that thinks that way.
The whole world?
The whole world.
Okay. Playoffs or no playoffs?
Oh, no playoffs.
No chance.
But I'll give him a sneaky little Jeremy Lin one-handed. Just put it in and dunk it.
Oh, you get him in a dunk.
Yeah, when Jeremy Lin just runs up and he stretches really hard and he manages to throw it down with his and then just get the fingertip. just on the back of getting Dennis Smith.
Not a full dunk, but just little. I grabbed the rim. I threw it over and grabbed the rim.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure how creative I'll get with my layup qualifications, but I'll give him a layup. I like the flyer on Nerlens Noel. I like their draft pick. I like the loyalty to Dirk. I don't know. They've had an all right off-season, given what they could have possibly have pulled in. A layup for consistency's sake, but they're not making any noise, and I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. We'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they don't get Dennis Smith in the draft, I think our outlook on this team is a lot worse.
Yeah, I think it's going to look like a bloody good pick come the end of the season. He'll definitely injury-free, and minutes-wise, he should definitely be in contention for a Rookie of the Year award. He's a baller.
Let's move along now to a team that unloaded a lot this year, the Houston Rockets. With their new starting point guard, Chris Paul, James Harden, Trevor Ariza, Ryan Anderson, Clint Capella. Yeah, got there. Eric Gordon. No, you can't.
What did Benson say last week?
Just say it how it's there. I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember.
Clint Capella.
Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, Nene.
That's it. I'm out of here. See you later.
And Troy Williams. Jesus.
What's the coach's name?
Mike Dan Antoni.
Fuck that guy.
Vince's favourite. No, Mike D'Antoni.
Pringles.
Oh, man, Mr. Pringles himself. I don't care if he doesn't have his moustache. He's still Mr. He'll always be Pringles to me. Definitely a different-looking team this season, unloading Patrick Beverley and a host of others. But, I mean, Houston had such good success with James Harden running the point guard last year. I wonder what the effects of Chris Paul taking the ball out of Harden's hands is going to have on the team, how they're going to fare by the end of the year. Paul's a good point guard, so I'm sure they'll work it all out. But I don't know. I just feel like this Houston team's not going to have enough.
when they're not enough is a benchmark against the Warriors. I think that's the only team that's better than them in the West. We don't know. We don't know how they're going to gel, but for my money, they're going to be awesome. They're going to give teams a headache when it comes to that ball handling, with the fact that they can pick their poison and they can throw Eric Gordon in the mix if they have to. I think they are a better team than last season. I think Capella, with another season under his belt, is going to get even more involved in this run and gun offense. And Nene was a big missing piece to their
just went down with that injury in the playoffs, man. I think that really cost them that.
Yeah, big time. It was a bad timing from a guy who, by all measure, is pretty robust, and just shit timing. But he's back. I think they're better than they were last season, and I think from what I've seen of Ryan Adams. What's his name? What's Ryan's name?
Anderson,
that's it. Anderson. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, so I just better to say nothing at all. Ryan Anderson's been looking good in the minutes that I'm seeing, in the clips I've seen on NBA.com. So I think they're going to be better than last season. And, it remains to be seen how they'll go against the Warriors. But I think they've had a bloody good off-season.
I agree with everything Benson said there. The only thing is this Houston team will go as far as James Harden will take them. If he disappears again in the playoffs...
Oh, that was such a bad game.
I swear he had money on that game or something. Yeah. I don't know what was going on.
So bad.
Have you ever seen anything like it? It was shocking.
That was almost as bad as Jared Jack's attempt at a full court shot today. Almost.
No. Harden's was worse. I watched it again about a week or so ago. I lie. Maybe about a month ago. I watched it. It is all time. It is such a bad game.
Question. Agree with you that the team's better than last year. That game against the Spurs, do you think Spurs still pull that out if Chris Paul's on the court? I mean, it just felt like... I have watched it recently. I watched it twice. When the playoffs had finished, I watched it again. But I just sort of felt like, with the addition of Chris Paul, I don't feel like that situation happens again. I feel like because Harden... great season again. It's just such a shame that season came down to that one game and it was such a bad game. But I feel like maybe that situation has at least been addressed now with Chris Paul. I can't see a team with Chris Paul being in that situation.
No, it hasn't.
You don't think so? You're just so shitty on Chris Paul all the time. He's your all-time pooper player.
What has he done in the playoffs?
Well... That's fair.
Thank you.
That's fair. But I think in that
question his playoff pedigree. That's a fair question of his playoff pedigree.
But I don't think he crumbles in that situation, Vince. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he has a Harden game.
Oh, he doesn't have a Harden game. No, that's right. But he doesn't get you over the hump.
I think he gives you in that situation though. If you look back on that tape when Eric Gordon couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and they were essentially clinging their hopes to the back of Trevor Ariza, and I would rather be pinning mine to Chris Paul. So if we look at it that way in perspective, I think they've got a better fail-safe. But again, Vince is right. Chris Paul, God love him, not the best playoff record himself.
This is it right this season. Chris Paul, really, he's not getting any younger. He had a pretty good season last year, individual-wise, I suppose. But if he can't make this work with this squad, then, it kind of is a bit of a big X against his name, right?
Well, I'll tell you something about Chris Paul. If Coach Fuckbag...
Oh, new listeners are going to be so confused.
Him over there, Coach Pringles. He cannot just... You know what he's like with minutes, with good players. He cannot... overplay Chris Paul because I'll guarantee he'll break down the playoffs again. He cannot play more than 30 a night.
Oh, he can play more than that, but mid-30s. Mid-30s.
Dude, he can't. He can't. He'll wear down, I'm telling you. Last few playoff series, he has gone in banged up because he plays too many minutes. He's not 25 anymore. He's 32 going on 33.
Well, I suppose the upside to that is Harden can take the point when needed.
They've got enough coverage. Don't have to play in over 30 minutes.
They've got more potential points in them per game than the Warriors. I'm serious. They really, really do. But it's a matter of whether or not they can gel with Chris in the lineup.
I feel sorry for one person on that roster, that Houston roster.
Capella?
No. PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker's the only player on there that plays defense. I
He might be playing then.
I don't understand the signing. I don't know why they traded for it. I just don't get it. Like, it's like you can't have a D'Antoni system of shooters and shooters and shooters, and then PJ Tucker. Like,
They're just going to they'll unleash him in the finals should they get there against LeBron. That's going to be sold for the whole season.
he's not going to know when to put him in for a defensive stop.
Maybe not.
All right, let's get some rankings for Houston.
Oh, definitely making playoffs. And let me see. What kind of dunk am I looking at here? I couldn't give a stuff. Just a basic two-hander. D'Antoni. Up him. But yeah, look, great pieces to bring in. Don't know if it'll work, but in terms of delivering a title, but yeah, worthy of a dunk and definitely make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a dunk as well. For my money, they're the second best team in the West until they prove me or somebody else proves me otherwise. I don't know what kind of a dunk I'd give them. I'm going to give them a Clyde the Glide. I think their off-season's been quite smooth.
Nice.
A bit of fire slammer jammer, straight through the key. Nothing too outlandish, but just it looks pretty. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, look, for me, I like his squad heading forward. I liked them last year. Just like I said, it's just a shame the season got undone by that one game. Definitely playoffs. I'm going to give them a Corey Brewer dunk over Derek Fisher, straight over the top.
I love Corey Brewer.
He's great.
I don't care for it because it was over Fisher, so I don't care for you at all.
Matt Barnes cares. And we'll move on. Oh, man, I just saw the next thing.
Matt Barnes.
Let's move to my sorry-ass team, the Memphis Grizzlies. With their starters, Mike Conley, Tyreek Evans, Chandler, Jarmichael Green, Marc Gasol, Andrew Harrison, James Ennis, Mario Chalmers, Brandon Wright, and Jarrell Martin. What a sorry bunch the Memphis Grizzlies are.
Did you mention Ben McLemore, whatever his name is?
I didn't mention him because I knew you'd bring him up and screw his name up.
Yeah. Jar Mike.
Some thoughts on Memphis, guys.
You suck. You're going to miss the playoffs. And, yeah, I'm happy that you're going to be sad.
Yes.
No, that's not true. I really like the Grizz, and I love Coach Fizz. And I reckon he's a real players coach. I reckon he could be there for a long time because players just love him. But you guys are going to really struggle. What was the plan on bringing those guys in?
Well, look,
Tyreek Evans, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
I mean, I've got to believe as a Memphis fan there is a plan going forward because, like last year with Jermichael Green taking the starting spot off Zebo, I mean, obviously everyone scratched their head at the start, and that played out quite well. In my head, I'm kind of like, Coach Fizz, I've really come around on Vince, like, and you've definitely influenced me on that decision, but I've got to believe there's a plan going forward to let such key guys go like Tony Allen, Vince Carter, and Zach Randolph, real staples of Memphis over the last couple of years. So I hope to hell he sees something in these new guys. I hope it's just not a case of the best of what was left. I mean, we took so long to sign Green back on extension. I was super worried that wasn't going to happen. But, I mean, the Western Conference, we're just not going to have enough power. I can see after this season, I feel like we're going to lose Marc Gasol and or Mike Conley. I think that they'll try to hang on to Gasol as long as possible, but I think we're headed for a big, big rebuild. And any Memphis Grizzlies fan out there that doesn't think that, I think you haven't been watching enough tape.
I think they're kind of doing their rebuild in front of you right now, and it's they're not going to be able to do it through the draft, so they're doing it with surplus talent that's available. I mean, that's why they're bringing in Tyreek. That's why they're bringing in Ben McLemore. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, without picks and without a lot of cap flexibility, I think they're doing what they can. I don't mind letting go your Zebos and your Tony Allens and your Vince Carters so much. I think the coach is going to try and change the style of play. look, you're not making the playoffs whatsoever, but I think you could be in a worse position. I still think you've got quite a few attractive tradable assets as well. So it's definitely not red alert, all systems, what the fuck's going on. I mean, it could be worse. I was going to say, a team that wants to go deep in the playoffs or a team that just needs to push over the edge. I mean, they're calling about Conley. They're calling about, it sounds ridiculous coming out of my mouth, but a locker room vet like a Chandler Parsons to add to a team.
How dare you mention his name?
I'm serious. If he can play himself into 20-odd minute a game form and give you guys 16 or so points a game, which I think he probably will this season. The phone's ringing come trade deadline time to fill out a void that a playoff team needs off the bench. So I think you're in a pretty good position in terms of stock.
Best case scenario, he has a cracker of a start of the season and we trade him at the deadline.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I can tell you that's not going to happen. I can tell you
I think that's what he's working. I think that's what his whole off season's been aimed at. I don't think he sees himself there long term at all.
He's going to get out injured, and it's going to be much the same as last year. I mean, he barely played. Did he even play 15 games for us last year? It was like
no, I don't think so.
It was a joke of a signing. We paid him way too much. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now, and I've deleted him from NBA 2K.
Well, apparently you can't do that.
You can do that.
How did you do that?
You go into the edit. You edit the players. Yeah. And technically, I didn't really delete him. I just changed him to someone else.
You changed his name?
I changed everything.
Oh, my God.
He's 5'4", left-handed, and comes from Hungary.
I videoed it. I'll see if I can find it and I'll post it.
What's wrong with you, mate?
It's a schmozzle.
It is.
It's a schmozzle.
It is a schmozzle.
And they're not making the playoffs. I don't think they'll make... I think they'll go probably 9th. Maybe push you.
No.
I think they'll go 9th. I think they've got enough to beat some crappy teams, but they've got... I can't see him beating any of the top 8.
I wonder if... who's your GM? Was it Chris Wallace? I wonder if he made a phone call to Danny Ainge just shopping Marcus Gasol for a pick or something. One of the lottery picks. I wonder.
I don't think he's done much.
I would have traded him and Conley out of there, just bam, full rebuild.
I mean, look, we don't know the behind the scenes, so we don't know what was offered back. So he might have just literally held, he might have been prepared to let Allen, Gasol, and Carter go to free up that cap money, and then maybe he was shopping to see what bites he was getting. But yeah, I feel bad. I don't really want to see any of those guys go, but I just feel like there's no way around it, really. I mean, both players are great players who would definitely put a team over the edge.
Well, I'm just glad you're sticking with the Grizz. A lot of guys would have jumped off.
No, I can hate my own team. I'm fine with that.
Have you ever met another Grizzlies fan?
No.
Like it.
But yeah, we're going to stink it up, and I'm okay with that for now.
I think we've spoken about them for far too long.
Yeah, we have. Big fat airball for me. Instead of an airball on the shot, it's an airball on the jump ball.
Wow. Well, the airball I'm giving you is so bad, the bloody ball exploded. Because I don't know what you guys are doing.
My airball is a layup airball. I don't mind what you've brought in. I know you've got tradable assets. I'm sure there's a bigger plan. Don't know what the fuck it is, but you've cut through the key. You've sliced, you've diced. It's a layup, but it's resulted in an airball. You're gonna have a shit season.
Well, let's move on from that misery to the New Orleans Pelicans.
From one misery to the other. Good on you.
With their starters, Rajon Rondo, Drew Holiday, Etuan Moore, Tony Allen, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Dante Cunningham, Ian Clark, Alexis Ajinka. Did I say that right? I feel like that was right.
I feel like it was wrong, but don't worry. We've had enough shit on you already.
Okay. And I think they have Jordan Crawford too. I'm not too sure if that signing stuck or not. But yeah, the Pelicans guys.
Here's how the Pelicans... the brains trust in the meeting, Here's how it went down. Hey, Del, we need some outside shooting. Okay, I'll sign Tony Allen.
Yeah.
Alvin Gentry's like...
It does sound...
Thanks.
it does sound like Memphis from last year.
They've got some nice guards. Drew Holiday, I love Drew Holiday. Etwan Moore, when he gets minutes, he's pretty good. But I don't love Rajon Rondo, but again, he provides no outside shooting. Desperately, this team needs that. I don't understand. Like, you've got two beasts inside, and they've got nothing to kick it out to.
Yeah, I feel like there's still moves to be made with this squad. Like, I feel like at where it sits right now, I mean, it's good. I think it's enough to make the playoffs. You guys are dreaming. Okay, so for any new listeners out there, you should probably know that when the hosts have a disagreement, we come to agreement of a slap bet, which means myself, I've got the Pelicans making the playoffs this season. Stu and Vince have not. Whoever loses basically has to slap themselves.
As we get closer to the season, are you feeling like this was a silly bet?
No. I think they look great. And I've been pretty impressed with Drew at the 2. My only concern at the moment is Rondo's maybe got a sports hernia, I think it is. So he might miss a little bit of time, but I don't think it'll be long. I think if he does need surgery, I hope that he does it now because he'll only miss a month. So I think they're fine. I really like the firepower. Totally agree with what you said, Vince, though, about the outside shooting. Tony Allen brings a defensive stamp to this squad, but is it really what they needed? I like the fact that Davis and DeMarcus Cousins have been working together all off-season. I don't think they really got enough time to shine last year with DeMarcus coming across midway through the year and the Pelicans team already on the back step as far as playoffs go. But yeah, I feel like they could still bring in shooters if they could sign someone free agency.
Oh yeah, who?
Well, look, there's still options. You could bring in some kid from the D League.
Oh, yeah, that's good research.
Look, they're good enough to make AFC. That's what I'm saying. They're good enough to make AFC.
You actually work for the Pelicans, don't you?
Come on.
You don't know what's going on.
You fit right in. I like the Twin Towers. It's been a while since the NBA's had a legit pairing like these two. They're going to give you 50 and 25 every single outing between the two of them, and that's then you look down the roster and you think, shit, where are other points going to come from? To echo what's been said, no outside firepower whatsoever, no depth on the bench whatsoever. I hope you like what you're seeing in the preseason against half-assed squads that aren't trying, because it's nowhere near the playoffs.
You guys are dreaming.
No, they're not even going to sniff the playoffs.
Oh, they'll make the playoffs. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you're going to punch yourself in the nuts.
You are going to be slapping yourself stupid. Don't you worry about that.
Right, I'm not even breaking a sweat worrying about it.
The only real concerns I have is obviously Alvin Gentry. I don't think he's the right coach for this squad or any squad. And
I was going to say any squad.
Drew Holiday, I think he can do it. I'm more interested to see how he holds up at the 2 guard instead of running the show. But I've got him down for a dunk. I think they'll make the playoffs, and I'm pretty excited.
Come to that conclusion.
I'm pretty excited for a full season of Davis Cousins combination.
You're a dick.
You are lost in space, my friend.
Mate, you got to remember, Anthony Davis is the most injured man in professional basketball after your boy.
Hey, I was going to say, how dare you? We hold that crown.
Man, yeah. he's gonna play home games only. They won't even travel. Mate, really a slam dunk in the playoffs. Really,
dunk a playoffs.
Take the bet out of the equation for a second. Just pretend it's just
no.
a chance. No one's listening.
He can't.
No.
He can't.
Mate, come on. No one's listening. Just the three of us. Turn the mic off.
No.
Stop recording.
No.
You okay?
Playoffs, baby.
Mate.
Pelicans in the playoffs. It's P for playoffs.
Have you had a stroke or something that you don't know about? Is your left arm warm? You okay?
Wow.
It's a bit tingly.
He said it. He tried to sound real confident when he said dunk. No. You could tell there was a bit of shakiness in his voice.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a good dunk, that's why. But there's still a dunk.
Right. Oh, massive airball.
Airball? Not even a layup?
Nah.
Wow.
You know what I'll give him? A Craig Walton layup that hits the supports.
Don't give him all your friends' signature moves. Come on now.
Well, that's what it deserves. it's just, I can't wait till the end of the season you punch yourself in the nuts.
Not a punch myself, it's a slap bet.
Oh, either or.
Oh, boy.
It's an airball, and the look on my face as I'm giving it is one of Boogie's looks when he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, because he's going to be giving that look a lot this season, and he's going to be demanding a trade. No playoffs.
No playoffs.
What year do you want me to select?
Let's move on now with the San Antonio Spurs. With their, I suppose, projected starters, Patty Mills, Denny Green, Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Pau Gasol. On the bench, Rudy Gay, Manu Ginobili. I can't say his last name. Joffrey. You know his last name is.
Joffrey, Laverne, and Shirley.
That's the one. Kyle Anderson and Davis Bertans. Bertans? That sounds right. I'll stick with that.
I'm too scared to write the Spurs off.
That's what every NBA fan says every single year, right?
Yeah, but I honestly think this year they're going to take a step back.
Really?
Ooh.
I don't think so, man.
I don't know. I just said it. I just wanted to slap myself for saying that.
Well, it's like this. I feel like if they were going to have that, it would have been last year. I mean, last year was their first season without Tim Duncan. Do you know what I mean? I feel like... And they still won, 50 plus?
Well, they replaced him with a pretty handy player.
Yeah, we love Gasol.
I'm glad you said Gasol. Look, I feel like Spurs might have even had Golden State's number in that 7-game series if he doesn't go down injured. I'm actually a little bit concerned about it because he went down. I mean, I thought he was only going to miss a game, maybe 2, misses the rest of the playoffs, season done, and then he's still not healthy now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different injury, isn't it?
I don't know. Well, I mean, is it?
Pretty sure it's a different injury, so...
But even still, I mean, it's just like...
It's not related to his ankle.
The body's all connected, Vince. The body's all connected.
And he's not getting any younger.
That's right. No, I mean, I just... I mean,
I love when people say that. I think you said that about Chris Paul. I love that. Like, who is getting younger?
Yeah. Just remembered. Did you guys catch the Marcus Aldridge's comments?
Yes.
That's what I said. I sent you guys a link through the week to remind you, knowing that you wouldn't remind me, but it would trigger my memory to remind myself. Thanks, guys. And basically,
we're just going to remind you. Thanks for reminding us.
And it was basically, I mean, I felt like it was the biggest load of shit ever. I mean, we saw how quick Aldridge fell apart in the playoffs. I mean, he's lucky that he was playing Harden and Harden just fell away quicker. You had Popovich calling out Aldridge in the presses after the game, saying, he had to be more assertive. He had to be the guy. He had to put the ball in the basket, and just nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Then it comes out in some BS report that he went and had a heart-to-heart with Coach Pop because yada, 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 doesn't feel like a part of the team and doesn't know where he fits. And I mean, it's like, come on, man. You're not a rookie. You played like crap. Don't start making BS excuses. And then now this season you're going to turn it all around. What a load of horseshit.
You know what? The Spurs knew exactly what they were getting when they signed him. He was... What you're seeing at the Spurs in the playoffs is exactly what he was at the Blazers. They knew what they were getting. Look, they're paying him all that money. He probably should have performed better in the playoffs, but they knew what they were getting. And Popovich has been spoiled over the years, coaching a guy like Tim Duncan, who just wanted to win at everything. Same with Ginobili. He's had guys that he could call plays for and they deliver. He hasn't got that with LaMarcus. It's both of their faults. And if you had a problem last season, why didn't you have the heart-to-heart last season?
Right.
You might have played a bit better instead of waiting till now. He's always been a bitch.
Thank you. No, you know what? That is the correct term in this case. I really feel like it is. I really feel like such a cop-out comment that he made. Like, why not just own it? Why not just own it and go, yeah, I play like crap. Like, you could maybe even say, I'm still figuring out the system. It was my first year under the belt. Or was it his second year? Did he play with Timmy the year before?
That was his second year. He played one with Tim.
Man, screw this guy. I'm just over Aldridge. Over him.
Look, you reckon Portland fans miss him? No way.
Hell no. Spurs were looking to unload Aldridge in the draft this year. They'll try to package him up and get him out.
Because they know what they got. Wow. He's just all the talent in the world, sweet jump shot, but he's I don't know if it's mentally weak for the playoffs or he just crumbles under the pressure. He's so frustrating.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say he rights the ship this season. I'm going to say that he and Pop are going to be on the same page. I think that bringing Kawhi back from injury is going to work to his advantage in terms of his focal point in the offense. I think he could be an all-star.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm 100% serious. I was having a really good think about this Western Conference wrap today. And honestly,
we did not even hear about any tension through the year between Pop and Aldridge.
That's okay.
Like, nothing until that playoff.
There wasn't any.
Exactly. I mean, clear the air. I mean, what's the clear? This is all in his bloody head.
Yeah, but if he just kept it down as baggage for the betterment of the team and wanted to just fit in, and it was very clear that the keys were being given to Kawhi, and then he shit the bed in the playoffs. I mean, he wasn't backing down 6'8" defenders, and he was settling for turnaround pop shots, and it was ridiculous. I mean, his failing in the playoff is very well known and highly publicised, and it's all on him. He's got to show and prove, and he's got the skill set to do it. Whether or not that's a championship winning skill set or an MVP winning skill set, it's probably not going to be those two things. But man, he's got the tools, and he's in the right conference to do so, and he plays the right position to do so. I was really thinking about who plays his position, who's got his skill set. 6'11", he can give this Spurs team 22-11. He can.
Oh, man, you're dreaming. Last year he could have done that. He can't do that this year. His conference, regardless of his position, his conference just got a heck of a lot stronger.
Yeah, not at his position, though. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, but not all the players are going through the power forward spot.
Yeah, I know. It will depend on how Pop plays him, but I think this will bring it to light.
Unless they're playing...
His quotes, he didn't know that this was a problem, but now he does.
Oh, man, if they were playing 40 games against the Memphis Grizzlies and Dallas Mavericks all year, I'd agree with you, but I don't agree. I feel like Spurs are still going to be Spurs, but I think Aldridge is essentially still going to be Aldridge.
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but if we're talking about him this time next season, then I'll give him one more season. It's as you said, it was one season with Timmy, and I thought they played off each other really well. I've got to say that I thought he was a pretty good pickup. I don't know if I ever thought he was the predecessor and the keys should be given to him. That was always going to be a big task, but I did like him as a Spur in his first season. He fell off last year. He's admitted it. Everybody knows it. I think this is the bounce back. I think he's got the tools to shut a few people up.
He's got the tools to be mediocre again. Dude, no, he just frustrates the hell out of me. You got such a great organisation, got a great coach, really good team, got playing with some great players, and you produce that crap. Anywho, I'm going to give him a nice little layup for getting Rudy Gay.
Yeah, I was going to say, we spent all this time on Aldridge, and we've got to mention the new additions. I really like the addition of Rudy Gay to the squad.
Looks a little tubby still. Got a little bit of a foot.
He does. He definitely does.
He had the injury last year, and
Yes, thank you. I was just about to say that before you interrupted again.
Sorry.
He had an Achilles injury. I don't know how much time he's had to, get the weight off, but I'm sure it'll pour off the more he plays. I'm hoping he hasn't lost any speed or athleticism. But if he can come off the bench and be a spark plug, or even he's not going to start, is he? He might be able to start at the 2. I'd start him at the 2. Nice big 6'8" guy. I just hope he plays really well, gives him double figure scoring, and finally just able to go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, the bulk that you're seeing is he's been lifting a lot, and I follow him on Instagram all the time. So I think he'll shed a lot of that bulk through the course of the season. But his Achilles, from everything that I've seen with his training on Instagram, looks fantastic. So I'm expecting a big year for Rudy Gay. I actually like it if San Antonio want to go a bit smaller and they can switch him to the 4 spot and stick Gasol in the center. I really like that lineup.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I give him a solid, smooth, typical San Antonio George Gervin finger roll.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, steady as she goes with the Spurs. You want to write them off every year, and then every year they just play pop ball, and it's beautiful to watch. If Parker's back and healthy, Manu can give him what Manu can at his age. Paddy continues to evolve and blossom into what we envisage will be a starter's role when TP hangs up the laces. I think they're going to be solid. They'll contend for, I don't know, they'll be a home seed in the playoffs, maybe 3 or 4 in the West. Nice finger roll.
Let's move on to the champs, the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Zaza Pachulia. With the bench, Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Nick Young. Is Patrick McCall still there? I feel like he's not there.
He's still there.
Yeah, McCall's there. Yep.
Okay, and David West. Some thoughts on the champs, guys?
Look, there's not really much to say. I love the addition of Nick Young. Hey, more firepower.
That's what they needed.
Yeah. I mean, you look over at New Orleans and go, didn't you guys need Nick Young? Anyway, you want to win the title, you got to go through Golden State. They're still stacked, and they just add another layer to that stack. And with Nick Young, and well, what do you say? I mean,
They're still the team to beat.
On the playoffs, they go to the finals. They're awesome.
I think I can sum it up. For you, Vince. Because if I could turn back time to about 2 days ago, when I sent a message to you guys, and that message was Minnesota was playing Golden State.
Yeah.
And I sent you guys. It was like second quarter, third quarter, and I sent you guys a message, and it said, "Oh wow, Minnesota is really giving Golden State some trouble right now. Minnesota's up like."
And then the fourth quarter happened.
Oh my god! It vanished so quick within a third quarter. It wasn't funny. Steph caught fire, and I was just like, "Yeah, okay."
What a game, though. What a Remember Us game. That was insane.
Well, because Vinny got the first game on him, but the second game was a totally different story. Starters, I mean, granted, that game, I think they all played about 30 minutes. But even still, man, that's an indication of where the season's going to be. They have not missed a beat together. They are going to milk this dynasty for... And that's what it is. I mean, I don't care what anyone says online. I don't care if you...
We don't say dynasty here, okay?
What do we say? Dynasty.
We say dynasty.
Well, I feel like they're a dynasty. And look, from all reports, I feel like this is they're going to be a team around for the next couple of years as well. So we should just get used to it and stop bagging them out. I mean...
It's all the old-timers. They bag them out.
They really do, man. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. This gold team is a great team, and the numbers don't lie. I mean, people can complain about how watered down the league is to what it was in the 90s, but, I mean, you've still got to win those games. You've still got to put that effort out on the court, and they're doing that, and they're doing that really well.
Listen, I love watching them play. I hate their fans.
What's up, Luke?
No, I love Luke. I love Luke. The rest of them I hate. But they're just so much fun to watch. You just can't deny that. Like, just enjoy it. It'd be a long time to see a team like this again.
Yeah, look.
Oh, well, in a couple of years with the Lakers, but you know what I mean.
No, this is hands down. Hands down. I don't care. Throw any stat you want at me. This is the greatest backcourt duo of all time. Steph and Klay. This is going to be the Forgotten About Klay remix this season. I think he's going to put aside any of those little rumours that they should move him, they should trade him. I think he'll take less on his contract to make sure that this core does remain a dynasty. I think all-time wise, people are going to be looking back at throwing Durant into the mix, and I don't think there's going to be a trio that have ever been as prolific as these guys. This is just fun to watch. Once in a lifetime basketball with 4 Hall of Famers playing together. If Draymond keeps on his trajectory, he'll be one as well. Just awesome to watch, and good luck to any of the other 29 teams beating him this season.
I really like the fact that they re-signed McGee. Felt like he really earned it last year.
Yep.
Had a pretty solid year, and I kind of like the fact that him and Nick Young are back together. Brings back old memories of Wizards when they stunk. But
It's come a long way, baby.
yeah. Man, and you know what? I just want to give props to Sean Livingston, man. Because that guy is just, man, you talk about overcoming odds. For any of you new listeners out there who don't know who Sean Livingston is, just jump on YouTube. I'm sure the clip will show up pretty much straight away. It's horrific. It's horrific.
It is. I can't watch it.
I feel like that is worse than watching, what was the kid from in college?
Oh,
with the bone?
no. That,
You
the
reckon that
snap,
was-
the snap's worse.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah, because the bone comes out, man.
That's true.
The snap's bad.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, yeah, Sean Livingston, man, to play at the level he plays now as well,
Yeah.
to me is just amazing. He's on the court, and he's such a good contributor. He's such a good big guard, so much props to him. Big fat slam dunk for the Warriors for me. They are the team to beat in the league.
Oh, big call.
What, based on what?
Based on the amount
I love
of...
how you make the hard calls,
do.
Wayno.
Based on the amount of silence I left after that statement. That sold it. Shall we move on?
Yeah, I think it's unanimous. I think we all know it's a massive slam dunk, and we'll be seeing them in June.
It's getting closer. We're not there yet, but it's nearly purple and gold time for you guys.
Yep.
Sydney Kings.
Let's move along now to the other team in LA. The LA Clippers, guys, with their lineup: Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Danilo the Rooster Gallinari, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Austin Rivers, why is he still on this team? Sam Decker, Willie Reed, and
That's the coach.
Milos. I love Milos.
I love Milo.
Todosic? Is that how you say his last name?
Oh, my God.
Todosic? Theodosic, is it? I don't know. I didn't know. But
His name's not Milos.
it's Milos to me.
Milos.
It's Milos.
Milos.
I want to call him Milo. Can I call him the Milo kid?
You can call him Milo. We call Frank Nicotine.
Yeah, okay. I can't even call him the kid, really, because he's not a kid. The LA Clippers, I mean, look, they lose a big piece from last season with Chris Paul obviously bouncing to Houston, but I mean, the assist they got back from him could have been his best assist yet. He gives Doc Rivers a deep bench. I like this squad. I know I might be the only one, but I kind of like this Clippers team. I kind of like them more than I did last year.
No, you're definitely not the only one. I like it too.
Okay.
Finally, hallelujah, they've got a small forward that's young.
Yeah.
And can hit the three. I love the Rooster. He's a countryman, so I've got to love him.
I like the
he's
fit for him, man.
Bloody good player. I love the addition of Beverly. They've got a deep bench, like you said, and I think... Oh, and Austin Rivers is on the team because his dad's the coach and the GM. Deep bench, they're definitely going to the playoffs. And I'm going to throw in I don't know, I'm just going to give them a nice dunk. It's just a good, solid off-season.
I mean, if Blake can manage not to punch any of the staff...
That'd help.
I think this squad's going to have a better year than people think. And, man, Jersey worthy. The Milo kid. Oh, man, I love that guy. He's great.
Oh, calm down. He's done nothing yet.
Oh, he's great. He's fantastic. I don't care.
Oh, hang on a minute. How come you're allowed to be all moist over this guy? And I can't talk about Lonzo Ball.
Oh, my God. Because you go on and on and on. And I mentioned it once. You've mentioned
At least
it.
I can pronounce Lonzo Ball.
You've mentioned it every show. I don't have a problem with Lonzo. LeVar, that's a different story. Come on.
Oh, come on, man. Have you watched the latest Ball in the Family?
No, I haven't watched any of them.
You should.
I will. What are they up to? Episode 8 or something?
7 or 8, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll catch up before next show. How's that? Stu, the silent one.
Yeah. Great off-season, stacked bench, finally. I don't know. I mean, I don't like talking about the Clippers too much because they're the shit team in LA. But they're stacked. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think they're run and gun with Teodosic throwing those lobs up to, DeAndre and to Blake and kicking it out to Gallo and Gallo using his size mismatch on, every play if he's healthy. These guys are going to be awesome to watch. I think they're going to be I don't know. You're not going to want to play him in the playoffs, I think. If they gel after 82 games, I think they're going to be, a bit of a matchup nightmare. I think Blake Griffin's ceiling is what Blake Griffin is now, and we'll see what these guards can get out of him. But they're much deeper, and the fact that they've got Pat Bev, Lou Williams, Sam Decker as well. They're a great squad.
Yeah, I like the addition, all the additions. I think it's really rounded out the roster, like we've spoke about. I think by the time the season starts, I think Milos gets the start. Patrick Beverley, they'll probably play at the 2, and they'll bring Lou off the bench for that extra scoring punch. I really like the fit of Danilo at the small forward. Like, he played really well in Denver when healthy, and he could have quite easily went to a shit team in a shit situation and taken a lot more money. But I like the fit with him in LA, and I kind of feel like he's got the right coach to get the most out of him, at least.
Let me tell you something, mate. Italians can play ball. He's going to be great.
He's come a hell of a long way.
He's had a lot of injuries, and you know how Blake Griffin likes punching staff?
Yeah.
Gallinari likes punching opposition players and breaking his hands. So
still can't do it very well.
No. What's going on?
Hey, I'll take that over Kevin Love breaking his wrist doing a knuckle push-up.
Fair enough.
How's Andrea Bargnani playing lately? I'm just bringing up finesse Italian basketball players, that's all.
Zing!
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Come on.
Your countryman, Vince.
Name escapes me. I don't know who he is. He brought great shame to the motherland. Wouldn't be surprised if he's sleeping with the fishes, you know what I'm saying? We don't speak of this Bargnani.
That should be on a shirt. We don't speak on our Bargnani. Look, I'm going to give the Clippers... I think they make the playoffs. I think they've definitely got a good enough squad. I think Doc's going to get a lot out of them. Like you said, Stu, I think they're going to be tough to match up against in a 7-game series. I'm going to give them a Lamont Murray dunk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give him a dunk because it's the Clippers.
I'm going to give him a Lamar Odom, catch the ball from Quentin Richardson, loop it up in midair, and Darius Miles throwdown. I think they're going to be lots of fun to watch.
Would you guys like them more if they moved to Inglewood? Would that make you happy?
I would like them if they moved to Seattle and became the Supersonics.
That'd be fantastic.
It would be great. We don't need them in LA. We run LA. We are LA. We win championships, not them. They can piss off.
Look, it's inevitable though. Barmer is going to move the team. I mean, I don't know where they go, but they're not long for the Staples Center, surely.
Well, that was the rumor. The rumor was he was looking to move to Inglewood. Yeah. So, I mean, I would love him in Seattle. I think Seattle definitely needs that team back. But
there are things going on in Seattle. That Chris Hansen's still on the case. He's desperate to get the Sonics back
because he's got money to be made. All right.
Billions upon billions.
This podcast could go into the 3-hour mark as we move into the next team, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Hear that?
Oh, I hope you're using your hands.
I'm too excited, Benson. You like to start.
All right, let's go with the starters.
I just need to finish off.
The Lonzo Ball, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Brook Lopez, Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr. How is Deng still there? What's going on? Andrew Bogut, Corey Brewer. I forgot someone. I left someone out, didn't I?
Kuz.
The Kuz.
You left out Kuzma?
The projected our prediction, new power forward maybe. My prediction.
Yeah, I'm not far behind.
I think Randall's... we were talking about this before we started recording, so I'll just reiterate it. I think Randall's days are numbered in LA. I just feel like the style of ball LA are now moving to, and it's one that spoke about last year and early this season where Magic's talking about the type of team he wanted. He wanted to bring Showtime back. I just don't feel like Randall really fits the mold anymore. I think playing Larry Nance Jr. and Kuz side by side would just do wonders for this squad.
Yeah, look, the more I've been watching him, like I'm a massive Randall fan as a caveat and a disclaimer before I go into this. And like, I know he's going to be a star and I know he's going to be really good wherever he goes, but I don't know, there's just something about him that when I watch him, there's just this lack of fluidity or lack of basketball IQ that makes me think that he's still a couple of years away from figuring it out. And I don't know, you just see him next to some other guys who just, I don't know, whether it's just the way they pick up the dribble or the way they cross over or the way that they read a play. He seems to run into a lot of people, and I know that's bully ball, and I know that's his physique, but I don't know. I think he's still someone who's really learning what his position is and what he can bring to the team. And yeah, I don't know. I think a team that wants to take a flyer on somebody in a rebuilding process will love to have him, and I think we'll probably take that call.
Memphis.
Look, he fits that blue collar Zebo mold.
I would take him in a heartbeat. You're right though. Like, big guys do generally tend to take that little bit longer to develop, except for maybe Porzingis. But he's got all the tools, that's for sure. I just don't feel like it fits the team direction right now.
Yeah, and I feel dirty saying it, but we get towards the All-Star break and I don't know. I mean, maybe OKC realise they're not going to be what they're going to be and they don't gel. Do they start the rebuild early and give us George? And do we get in early on George by pulling that? I don't know, but he gives us options, as does Brook Lopez's contract, as does Deng's as well, in terms of what they're worth and what would come off a team's books. But look, I love what we're doing. We've got a great coach. We've got a great core. We still might be a year of being away from being the team I want us to be, but that's only a few acquisitions away, and that's going to happen. So, a lot to be excited about.
Vince, I know you're biting at the bit to talk about Lonzo. Let's get into it.
Before I talk about my boy, a couple of points on Randall. Love Julius Randall to death.
Yep.
Biggest problem with Julius Randall is he plays way too fast. Gets him into trouble, and when he gets deep in the paint, he tries to rely on his body to score. And I was talking to Joey about this 2 nights ago. They need to get tapes of Zebo in his prime at Memphis and say, do that. Zebo didn't go quick. He had nifty moves around the basket, and Randall is way more athletic than Zebo.
Yep.
That's what he's got to mould his game around. He goes way too fast.
He is. He's 100 miles an hour. He just runs into people.
Yeah, the thing is, I tend to find with him is that, like you mentioned it, like he runs into people and bangs. Like, that's how he played in college. And the guys he's banging with now are bigger and taller, and he doesn't have that same impact against them. So you're dead right. Like, Zebo's would be like a perfect mold for him.
Yeah, he really does remind me of Zebo sometimes, and I've got no doubt. If we didn't have Kuzma and we keep Randall's going to be a 17 and 10 guy.
Mm.
Yeah,
he's got that in him, and he's a gym rat. He lives in the gym. He loves working on his game. He's adding a 3-point shot. And the other thing he's got going against him is that Kuzma and Lonzo, there's a bromance going on there. They love hanging. And the biggest thing is they have a massive connection on the court. You saw it when we won the championship in the Summer League, defending champs.
Still claiming that.
You saw how much they love playing together. Kuzma runs his ass off. Lonzo wants to run. Randall and Lonzo don't have that connection. Maybe it'll come. I doubt it. And that connection they've got, they're playing, they're having fun. That's infectious. And that's what I'm looking forward to. As much as it'll pay me to see Randall go. Man, Lonzo Ball he just gets me. I haven't been this excited.
Mate, do we need to pause the show? I haven't been
this excited. There's a Lakers signed Shaq.
I purposely didn't talk about him because I just knew you would wax lyrical about him.
I didn't bring him up.
I don't even know what to say about him. Like, there's so much I want to say about him, but I just can't get it out because it goes a million miles in my head.
I didn't want to bring him up because I didn't want to have to pause the show so Vince could go change his pants, but,
Oh, I'm pants free, don't I knew we were going to talk about the Lakers. I came in without any pants. So, I got a towel and a nice, fresh, warm towel that's just been heated up.
With all the talk of the new additions and where the team's headed over the next couple of years, I mean, the one thing I've taken away from the preseason, at least, is I've really liked what I've seen from Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, look, can I just say about Brandon Ingram? Laker fans, I've already seen it on Twitter. They're already turning on him. Can we just remember the kid is a kid and he's a beanpole? Yes, he's put on some size and strength and some weight, but can we just maybe give him another season or two before we start expecting the 20 a night, 25 a night?
Oh, man, that whole situation reminds me of Minnesota fans with Wiggins. Like, they started throwing him under the bus, and then he had that breakout year where he became that sort of 20-point scorer. I could see the same thing happening with Ingram next season. He's going to have a good season, I feel, this year of growth and, really learning the NBA game. But I think next year, I mean, if he's going to become that 20-point scorer, I think he'll do it next year.
You just got to play him. The thing is, Ball, Kuzma, and Ingram, even if we don't get Paul George and LeBron James, that's the future right there. And I'll tell you, I'm not impressed with Caldwell Pope at the moment at all.
Oh, no?
Nah. And I'd be looking to trade JC out for something as well at some stage.
Yeah.
Just don't think he fits. They're going to make moves, I'm telling you. And that's the other thing Randall's got against him as well. He's not they didn't draft him.
Yeah.
So they don't really have that attachment to him. Same with Clarkson.
Who's the? I want to. Oh man, you guys are handing me this. Who's the white guard you got this year? The rookie. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Caruso.
Man, I like that kid's game.
Me too. Oh, he is so good.
I hope he sticks on this roster because he's just
got
like
a two-way contract.
He is a real little general. Like, he hits open shots, and he's smart with the ball. His turnovers are low. He's exactly what this team needs. And he can play that up speed tempo.
Yep. He's always in control. Always in control.
I just feel like he's going to become a commodity, and I really hope he sticks.
Yeah, well, he's on a two-way contract, so he's there for the whole season.
Yeah.
So, they really like him. They hear good things about him all the time.
Yeah.
He's got a similar hairstyle to you too, Wayne.
God, I was waiting for it. But I got a better beard. Dunk, layup, or airball, and playoffs.
Oh, I'm going to give it a big Shaq dunk.
Oh, big diesel.
On everyone. You know what it is? The dunk over Robinson in the All-Star game. That's what I'm giving him.
Wow.
That's a big one.
That is quite big. Playoffs, Vince?
No playoffs this year, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a Larry Nance over now teammate Brook Lopez.
Oh,
nice.
No playoffs, but I'll tell you what. I think somebody just said it before. This management aren't the management that drafted Randall, so I don't know if they're attached to him. I know that Lonzo is very clearly not just our point guard of the future. I think he is the league's. This guy is going to be ridiculous. But Kuz, just before we go, poor man's Ben Simmons. He can do everything. I cannot be higher on this guy. This guy's going to be an absolute friggin' superstar, I think.
Yeah?
Diamond in the rough.
Nice.
Yeah, massive. This guy, I might sound just I don't know, rose-coloured glasses because I'm a Lakers fan. This kid is a fucking baller. He is going to be something special.
No, he is. And the minute I'm gainfully employed, I'll be getting a Kuzma and Lonzo jersey.
Brandon Ingram, don't give up on him, Lakers fans. It'll be the third year blossom. Think back to Tracy McGrady. 3 years. Come third year, it clicks, it gels. He's a kid. He's going to mature. It won't be this season.
Yeah.
Before we leave the Lakers, mind you, our downloads have just gone up. I saw again on Twitter, and another reason why I hate social media. They were bagging Larry Nance.
Why? He's great.
Oh, Larry Nance isn't going to be the player that I thought he'd be.
What are they?
I don't know what you thought Larry Nance was going to be, like a 20 and 10 guy. That's not Larry Nance. Larry Nance will be coming off the bench and giving us quality minutes, energy, block shots, scoring, rebounding,
Dude, honestly,
leadership. That's what Larry Nance will be doing.
I said it midway through that first year of his rookie year. I feel like he's going to be that piece that you guys are missing since Trevor Ariza left. Like, I feel like he's that spark plug. I mean, he doesn't have to do 20 points a game, you know, because he's going to get you those big dunks. He's going to get those big extra possessions. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not...
Yeah.
No one on LA needs or wants him to do 20 points a game. Do you know what I mean? They've got firepower, but he's that spark plug. I mean, for me, he's their sixth man.
Yeah, no issue with any of that. I just think a lot of them. I don't know what they watch, or what they're quick to just dismiss. A bit like you, Wayno.
Oh, here we go.
They don't give people a chance, you know.
Oh, whatever, you jerk. Look, anyway, I give the Lakers. Whoa, sorry.
You take that back.
I think the reason I said that because I give the Lakers a Blake Griffin dunk over Mozgov. No playoffs, but I mean, it's hard to argue the squad this year to last year. Leaps and bounds better. And look, maybe not playoffs, but you know, it's going to be wonderful on League Pass. Oh, let's move to, the Phoenix Suns. Wow, what's going on with the Phoenix Suns? Let's hit their starters. Eric Bledsoe, Devin Booker, TJ Warren, Marquise Chris, Alex Len with the bench, Josh Jackson, Tyson Chandler, Jared Dudley, Tyler Ulis, and Troy Daniels, guys.
Snorefest.
Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that Devin Booker is just a stud. Like, he's a dead set baller. I'm sure we'd all give up a lot to get him on our teams. But this is weird because I feel like they've been rebuilding for a while. And why is Bledsoe still there? I mean, why is Tyson Chandler there? Why is Jared Dudley still in the NBA? I mean, I like the addition of Josh Jackson through the draft. I feel like it's a great pick for him, even if he did screw Boston over to get to Phoenix. But, I mean, they need to sort out their direction and sort it out quick because it doesn't make any sense. It's not a good, doesn't make any sense Boston last year. It's doesn't make any sense going nowhere this year.
Agree with everything he said. It's been like this ever since Robert Sarver took over as owner. Mm-hmm. When the Colangelos left, Phoenix should have just packed up and folded and moved somewhere else. And that GM that he hired is terrible. I don't think he's got a plan except for just sign guys for no particular reason. And he's got some nice pieces. I
mean, he did well when he got there. He stocked up on picks and young talent, but then, you know, now you've got all these weird vets there for no reason.
He signed 4 point guards.
That's I stand corrected, yeah.
He signed 4 point guards and then went,
Vince,
4 point guards.
He might be the new Khan.
He might be.
Khan! Sorry, it's been a while since I busted out the David Khan.
Yeah, I don't know the GM's name. It's McDonald or something? McDonald.
Ryan McDonald.
Goes and signs Tyson Chandler at like 33, 34 years of age. Like, why? It's not like he's contending.
No, I think that was just for tutelage for Len, surely.
Oh, that's paid off.
They are.
He drafts Alex Len, who I thought was going to be okay, but yeah, wow. I don't know. I feel sorry for Phoenix fans. They had such a good run in the 90s. I just can't see them turning it around before Devin Booker gets frustrated and just goes, trade me to the Lakers, please. Because I want to play with Lonzo Ball and Kuz.
Yeah, God knows what they're going to do to keep him because there's no way he could look around that locker room and be instilled with confidence. I mean, look, there's some young talent there. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it's like a 6-year plan or something like that. They are categorically, for my money, they're the worst team in the West.
Yeah,
they're 15 years into a 5-year plan. It's going well.
Well, I think they drafted well the last couple of years, but it's still, look, their only hope this season is to just use their youth and run and hope that Len doesn't break. And I don't know, but that's going to have to be the game plan. Oh, what are we doing tonight, coach? Just fucking run. That's it every night.
I just feel like they need to give their fans a clear direction. I mean, you can't have a mismatch of players like this on this squad. I mean, if they moved Chandler on, I mean, they've got players that could move on to teams trying to contend that could possibly help out, you know, bring in more young talent. I mean, but they've got to send the message to the fans that, yep, look, we're rebuilding.
But
Young
mate, how
talent.
hard is it to identify the three players, Booker, Jackson, and is it Chris, Marquise Chris?
Yeah, they're your untouchables, right?
Yeah,
So you go to the fans, they're our cornerstones of this franchise. We are rebuilding around these three blokes. Just stick with us. They don't tell the fans anything. They just sign 4 point guards, draft guys left, right and centre, sign dudes, trade guys. The fans just get frustrated and there's no plan and, oh boy.
I do like that TJ Warren. I think he's got
yeah, he's good. TJ Warren's good.
He's got a nice game. Like, you know, but yeah, I mean, I think you stick with just what you said, Vince. You know, you stick with the 3 or 4 players. Go, this is our core moving forward. Everyone else becomes, you know, bait. You know, Stu nailed it. I mean, Devin Booker's your guy. Like, he's your franchise player. I mean, he's already another 3 levels above everyone else on this team. Like, he's developed so quick. If they don't do something, they're going to lose him. And I feel like they'll keep him. Like, I feel like they'll keep him as long as they honest with the fans, honest with themselves, and just commit to the rebuild. They're shooting donuts because it's a big fat airball for me. Definitely no playoffs.
I concur.
Yep. That's all 3 of us.
Look, let's move to another team that's turned the tide a little bit. Very similar in a Phoenix situation at one stage, but the Sacramento Kings, guys. George Hill, Buddy Hield, Garrett Temple, Zach Randolph, Willie Cauley-Stein, De'Aaron Fox, is that what they say? De'Aaron Fox, yeah. Costa Koufos, Vince Carter, Justin Jackson. Some thoughts on this roster? Interesting. I mean, I feel like they've kind of got a little bit of what's going on in Phoenix, but at least the right way around, like young talent, but with good vets to help back them up.
Yes, and I can tell you what, if you're a Sacramento fan, this has got to be the most exciting roster you've had, or the one that you could get excited about you've had in a long time.
Yeah, you can thank Memphis. Took our coach, took our power forward, took our small forward. You can thank me later. Thank me later.
I really love what Vlade's done here. I like the idea of bringing in George Hill to help out Fox a little. Zebo's a nice get, even though he's 36. He still, even today, he put up 16 points. I think he had another 10 rebounds or something like that.
Machine.
He's a machine. I like Willie Cauley-Stein moving to the centre. He doesn't have to worry about scoring. Tell you what, he kills me in 2K all the time.
He's really good weak side defence, right? Just cleans the boards.
The only thing I don't like is it looks like they're going to play Buddy Hield at small forward, which is I'm not a fan of.
Really?
Really? That's ridiculous.
That's dumb.
But then you look at their small forward situation, it doesn't look great.
Jackson. I like their... who's the guy who kind of had a little bit of a breakout year last year? Came up from the D-League, plays centre, something.
Scalabrese.
Yeah.
Scalabrese.
He's a bit of a monster. I kind of like that kid. I feel like
I'm not a huge fan.
Well, I know he played pretty well.
You can like him. It's okay.
Well, I'm just
saying.
I'm just saying. I feel like he could possibly, if Willie Cauley-Stein doesn't have a great scoring year, I feel like he might pinch his spot.
Oh, it's a big call.
Well, just keep an eye on him this year anyway. Keep an eye on him. He's got a nice mid-range game. I mean, he had some seasons in the D-League, so he had time to develop that. He reminds me a little bit of Nerlens Noel, where he's really quick off the spot, like really athletically quick off the spot. I like Cauley-Stein. I'm not trying to diss him or anything, but yeah, just a kid to look out for. I mean, this Sacramento Kings team, for me, this is a team you should be watching this season. Don't get me wrong, I don't have them making playoffs at all, but I don't feel like opposing teams can take a night off against them. There's enough talent, there's enough smart vets on this squad that they could easily take a game for you if you were to give them any cause of doubt. I like where they're heading. I pose this question to you, Vince. You know, like, I mean, did you ever see this squad after the DeMarcus trade?
No, I didn't. I thought they were going to be in trouble for a long time, and I thought it might cost Vladdy his job eventually, but Vladdy's come out of this looking okay at the moment, and I think he's drafted the second best point guard.
Oh, he's quick.
He is super quick.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's like Derrick Rose MVP season quick.
Oh.
He is ridiculous. It is. He and Heel are going to give other teams, mate. They're a backcourt of the future. They have got to give Sacramento Kings fans a bit of a woody. They are they're an awesome backcourt to be building blocks, and they're sneaky off season to get Bogdanovic as well. That's a He's coming off a good Euro run, and he's a very underrated NBA player, and I think he's going to be very good for them as well.
And he can shoot from behind the arc. Oh, my goodness.
Shoot the fucking lights out.
Oh, my goodness.
Big loss for the Wizards, big game for Sacramento. To echo what you guys said, who'd have thought, to go from having, DeMarcus Cousins and Rajon Rondo to this? It's a breath of fresh air to see a franchise that needed a desperate makeover do it pretty quickly. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. They're going to be a League Pass reminder team, and let's hope that maybe it's an attraction business, and maybe some free agents, very much like we saw with Vince Carter, Zach Randolph, wanting to stop in and have a talk to these guys in the off season and see if there's a spot within the organisation. They could really use this as a building block for some big years to come.
Yeah, look, I give him a slam dunk. No playoffs, but man. Yeah, I think we covered Sacramento. Yeah,
I think so. I'll give them a dunk because I like what they're doing, and it's it's looking good.
I'm going to give them a dunk, and I think they're making the playoffs.
You think they're making the playoffs?
Whoa!
Holy!
Whoa!
Vince!
No fucking way!
Yeah.
Wow!
Come on, Cletus.
Wow! That's a call. That's a call.
Yeah, they're making it. They're going to replace Memphis.
Oh. I see that coming. Wow. No, Memphis. No. Goodness me. Wow. I think we're just about to enter hour number 5.
Wow. Memphis made the playoffs last season, right? They're not going to make it this season. I think Sacramento replaces them.
You don't think Minnesota easily slide into Memphis spot?
Oh, easy.
Minnesota's going to make it, yeah.
Oh, wow, man. I want to hear your 8 later. Okay, wow.
Yeah, me too.
Shook the bed. Shook the bed. Alrighty, wow. Okay, let's move on. What's that?
Mate, he said to no one ever.
Ouch. That hurts a little. Let's move along now to the next team, the Denver Nuggets. Interesting squad. Jamal Murray, the new extension for Gary Harris, Wilson Chandler, Paul Millsap, Nikola Jokic, Mason Plumlee, Will Barton, Jameer Nelson, Kenneth. Where have you gone for Reed?
I'm super excited about Jamal Murray.
Jokic.
Come on, get on with it.
It's like there's one on every team.
There is one on every team.
Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Just called Nikola Jokic. You called him
Jokic.
Jokic?
Yeah, I did, Jokic. I was going to call him his nickname, but then I decided mid-sentence not to.
Now, these guys, whatever you call them and however you pronounce it, these guys are one thing, playoff bound.
See, I have them missing out.
I've got them in the playoffs. I think there's enough talent there to get to the playoffs, and I think they're well coached with Michael Malone.
Yeah,
they're going to go big. They're going to beat the shit out of some teams. They are going to go big, and they're going to be a handful.
They definitely pushed. They even pushed it last year, really. I mean, I can't decide. I've got them and another team that I'm deciding between. But
who's the team?
Utah.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, even last year there were like a couple games outside of 8th seed, so they even pushed it there. I mean, I suppose they're better than last year.
They are.
I mean, they give up Danilo, but then they gain Millsap. Nicholas.
Well, look, you got Millsap, Jokic, Wilson Chandler, Moutier, Gary Harris. That's a decent starting 5.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, they had You just basically the same squad from last year, but replace Danilo with Millsap. Really, I mean,
but also Moutier's going to improve. Jamal Murray's going to improve.
Yeah, see, I feel like Moutier's. I don't know. I just feel like he's lost faith. Like the coach has lost faith. I feel like he's in the doghouse, man. I mean, he lost the starting spot. I mean,
it's probably a lot to do with the fact that he can't shoot.
I mean, even this season, they're pushing Murray to play the point. So I feel like he's on his way out. I mean, Freed. I mean, we've spoken about Freed on the show. You know, even a couple of just episodes of like, where has he gone? He is possibly the biggest milk carton in the league right now.
Definitely not happy. And I think there's already grumblings that he's not happy coming off the bench already in this preseason. So
I heard that.
Well, he better get used to it because he's not starting. I mean, the dude hasn't shown up. But I'll tell you what, I mentioned it a couple of shows ago that this footage that was being shown from these scrimmages of Hoodie Mello and the like, and he was absolutely beasting. So I'm sure he's chomping at the bit to get a starting role. And man, if they can flip him, and they weren't really going to use him, he was going to be sitting on the bench. If they can flip him for maybe some point guard help, man, that'd even solidify their playoff spot even more.
You know who was great when the NBA season wasn't on? Remember a guy by the name of Anthony Randolph? And look where he is now. I mean, he smashed it. He was putting up triple doubles in summer league. Do you know what I mean? That's so like. I know what you're saying about like him playing with Hoodie Mello and he looked good, but I mean, who are the scrubs they were playing with? You know, like.
Oh no! I just meant it physically for someone who's come off injuries. I just meant it physically. He looked back.
I want him to do well though. Like I enjoy his game. Like I enjoy like that energy, but it's just there's no spark there anymore. I don't know what happened. Like I feel like he's not enjoying basketball for some reason.
Needs to change. Probably gone a little stale. You've seen it. Benson's seen it. A player goes to another team and it's just it just recharges the batteries, changes scenery, motivated again. It makes a difference.
Maybe Portland could swing for him or something.
No, he wants to win.
Well, he wants minutes. He wants starters. He wants starters minutes. That's what he wants.
Mate, just say send me to OKC. I can start there. And geez, they need him.
Yeah, I feel like he'd still be coming off the bench.
Behind who?
Well, aren't they playing Mello at the forward?
Oh, turn it up.
Nah, you'd be playing Adams, you'd play Fareed, you'd play Mello, George.
No, drop more down. Okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
In that order, yeah.
I mean, this is going to be... Look, I know at the moment I'm a bit torn. I don't have Denver in the playoffs on my list, but, I mean, that's not to say that I couldn't see them making the playoffs either. It's just the way I've got it written out. But regardless, 7-game series, you don't want to go up against Denver in a 7-game series, not with this squad.
They're actually going to be really fun to watch, and if I wanted to spring $300 to League Pass, I'd definitely watch them, but definitely go to the playoffs for mine. And a nice little slam dunk. Yeah, $300 for League Pass, man. Can you believe that shit?
Yeah, it's very expensive.
That's extortion. You know what? They get it for free in India.
What? What?
I just want to trigger Wayno.
Fuck that. Do they really? Is that a thing?
No.
Fuck. Do you know the
I
epic...
bet you it's bloody... You know, Keelan King's paying $250 for his, and he lives in the States.
Jesus.
Wow.
It's
he
all
posted a picture today on Twitter.
Yeah, it's all packaged.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy, man.
you can get it cheaper, but if you want the whole lot, like it's about $300. I'm giving Denver a slam dunk. I don't have them make the playoffs. I am really torn on it, but I say they miss out.
Man, this is a throwback. This is LaFonso Ellis throwing them down.
Ooh.
In the digital old Nintendo Scenescape jerseys that they used to have.
Yes.
I like it. It's a throwback. This is going to be a competitive 8 seed that could do some noise. They're making the playoffs, and I give them a dunk for the offseason that they've had. To get Millsap in itself gives them the dunk.
Yeah, I like the fact they re-signed Plumlee as well, actually.
Yeah, totally agree with that as well. I like him, and Murray's going to be a superstar. I really think there's something in that kid, and I think, I think he's going to be coached well this season, and look out for him. I think he's going to be on a lot of teams' whiteboards as the guy to watch.
Yeah. Well, the team to watch. Let's move along now to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jeff Teague, Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, Gorgie Deng, I overthought that. Karl Anthony Towns, Taj Gibson, Jamal Crawford, Shabazz Muhammad makes his return, and Tyus Jones. Man, has this roster just jumped leaps and bounds and is a sure lock for playoffs.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
My only question is, how quick can Coach Thibs get this team gelling and working together as a unit? Definitely, I feel like the gelling of the squad definitely needs a little bit of work, just watching them from preseason. But, I mean, potential-wise, wow.
Yeah, look, I think they might start off a bit, 50-50 with the record in the first maybe
30 games.
I don't know, 10 to 12 games. But I think they'll have a really nice run. Hopefully there's no injuries, because this team is just so stacked. They've built it beautifully. I love every piece they've brought in. Bit dirty we missed out on Shabazz Muhammad. I've been high on that kid for so long. And where it is, he's dropped a ton of weight, been working really hard. So I'm looking for him to finally be that sixth man that they need. Looking for Wiggins to bust out a little more.
Yeah.
Even though Butler and Carl are going to be the man on offense. But I think if they're going to really challenge a team like Golden State and Houston, and possibly the Spurs, I think Wiggins really has to just raise that level of play another notch, because they'll really give him a boost, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, what are we going to say? They've had a great off-season. It's going to be about gelling. It's going to be about the system. They're lucky that they've got Taj and they've got Jimmy Buckets, who've played in Thibs before, so it's not, learning something that they haven't already learned. It's just getting used to their teammates. But they're, in terms of improvement, to look at last year's for and against and the forecast for this year, they're going to be the most improved in the league. They've got a playoff spot locked up. I think that if they have a really strong second half of the season, they could potentially, and I don't want to jinx it to, anyone on T-Wolves Explosion or any other fans around the league, but I've got them sitting, anywhere from 4th to 6th on my bracket, and they could contend for a home playoff berth if they can gel. But they are stacked, and I love what they've done, and yeah, good on them. The fans of Minnesota deserve it.
Yeah. Big shout out to Joey! My voice is not back. My voice is not back at all. But shout out to Joe from Timberwolves Explosion. You guys have heard a shout Joey's name out much better than that in the past. So head over to iTunes and check him out for all your Timberwolves need.
He just did a review on the Timberwolves, and let me tell you, he had wood. A lot of wood.
It's fair enough, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, for any listeners out there that are new to the show and a little bit sensitive to swearing, I just want to say one thing to all the haters from last year that hung shit on Coach Thibs. Go eat a fat dick. Seriously, the guy's the GM and coach, and look at this squad he's put together for you. Like, count your...
Not just a dick,
a big fat dick. Yeah, no, seriously.
Bag of dicks.
The amount of shit I heard from so-called Timberwolves fans throughout the year last year about Thibs, like, talk about an absolute turnaround for this squad. I mean...
It was Tanae Wilson-Brown, wasn't it?
Mate, you got to watch those Kiwis, okay? You got to watch them.
Yeah, I know. If they're not raping sheep and hanging shit on tips, they're not happy.
No, but I'm super happy for...
You know what Tanae said to me?
What's that?
He goes, when he has his sheep,
Mm.
he likes to stand them on the edge of a cliff, because that way they keep reversing into him.
Fuck it.
I don't like where this is going, Stu. Abort!
That's what Tanae said. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can leave that on. I don't know if I can leave that on.
I don't think that's making
I'm going to edit this.
Well, it's up to you, but that's a true story.
Oh, my God.
Are they going to start Gibson?
I think they will.
It looks like it. Dang's on the bench.
I don't think it's any diss towards Dang. I just think that Taj is a bit more proven.
Okay, so you look at last year's lineup, and you're starting this season: Towns, Gibson, Butler, Wiggins, or interchangeable, and T. Like, fuck me, but that's a turnaround, guys. That's a GM doing some good work. That's an offset.
And the deal you got on Shabazz coming back after how he finished last year.
Yeah.
I think Joey pointed out on his last show, he's finally getting to play. I mean, he's had a different coach every year he's been in the league, pretty much. So I really felt like with Shabazz, especially at the end of last year, he really won the trust of Coach Thibs, and that went both ways. And bringing him back on the cheap like they did, I mean, I think he could be their standout sixth man.
Oh yeah, he can put himself in the sixth man of the year contention if he can give them what they need at that role, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
The only other sort of question mark, not even really a question mark, but it's more of I can't wait to see what Karl Anthony Towns has added to his game this year.
Me too. I didn't watch the preseason games of the Wolves yet. Did see some highlights. He did take some threes. I don't want him taking a lot of threes. He can do his damage inside. I don't mind him taking a couple of threes a game. He hits a couple, maybe take a couple more, but I want him around the basket, not out in the arc. I know it's becoming the league where big men shoot threes, but he is just, to me, he could just... Yeah, Joey said it as well. And it's true. He reminds me of David Robinson. Don't have to shoot threes. You can shoot the jumper, work inside. I don't want to see threes. Yeah,
I've got to make him the playoffs. Man, I'm just going to give him a Dominique windmill dunk because I just think the turnaround of this roster, man, they went from, a team for having talent to, a playoff contender, really.
Look, I'm fully... There's no excuse. This team should be winning 55-plus games. They are that stacked and they'll be that well coached. Yeah, I'm going to give him a DeAndre Jordan over Brevin Knight. Brevin Knight. Oh,
Brevin Knight.
Brandon.
Mate, I could dunk over Brevin Knight about now, I think.
I always thought I'd get Brevin Knight all the time. But yeah, massive dunk. But like Wayne said, the way they've turned this around is fantastic. And, Minnesota and fans and Joey, who just bleeds for this team every week, deserve it.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think that these guys are definitely a 50-55 win team without a doubt based on talent alone. Sentimental me wishes Ricky Rubio could be a part of it, but he won't be. But Teague's not a bad replacement. I think they've, the world's at their feet. They're young enough that this could be the start of something very, very nice, very attractive for future free agents. And I'm going to give it a big old school KG big ticket through the middle and try stop me dunk. Yeah, nice. This is an exciting new era for Timberwolves basketball.
Let's move along now with a team that also made quite a few additions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Their point guard, Russell Westbrook, Mr. MVP, Andre Roberson. Andre Roberson, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Steven Adams, Raymond Felton, Patrick Patterson, Jeremy Grant.
7 guys, right?
Yeah, and that's about it. Wow. I mean, we talk about Thibs, the GM, turning the ship around. Not that OKC had a bad year last year or anything, but they did rely a lot on Westbrook, to get them to the playoffs. But they've certainly re-upped, brought in some superstars to give them a bit of a hand. Did anyone see the Paul George thing coming? I didn't see it coming.
Oh, hell no.
No way. Anybody who says they did are flat out lying.
Yeah.
Presti's done a really nice job here. I think we spoke about it 2 shows ago. I don't think they're good enough to win the championship, but they're in with a good shot. After where they were after Durant left, I don't think... it's a bit like the Kings. I don't think any OKC fan would have thought just a year later they'd have Melo and Paul George come and join the team. So they've got to be happy they're in with a shot. Can they do it? Who knows? But I don't think so.
I actually disagree with you a little bit. I feel like they do have a chance to win it all. I think the downfall last year was when Westbrook was off resting. I mean, but for the majority of the games that he had a triple-double, I mean, they won those games. I just feel like with Melo and Paul George, I mean...
I just don't think the supporting cast is good enough to beat Golden State.
Yeah, okay. I can agree with that as well. I mean,
I hope they do.
They've certainly got enough firepower, but, you know, I liked what I saw out of OKC early on in the preseason. We spoke about it in previous shows with Westbrook. He can't come out and be Mr. Triple-Double, and he certainly wasn't that in the preseason. So I think this is a good gauge there. They're kind of feeling each other out, where they need to be, you know, who likes shots where. I mean, this is a brand new team almost, so a little bit of stumble against our Melbourne, though.
They're not my Melbourne. They hate Melbourne United.
Well, I say Melbourne is in...
Melbourne United going over and playing and losing by a point.
Dang.
And straight away, do you guys get SEN up there?
No.
I can get it, but it's not a regular channel.
Right, yeah. So SEN is full of ex-foot. It's a 24-hour sports station here.
Yeah.
Most of it is by ex-footballers. And after the game, I was driving the kids. No, I was going to school, and they're just... Melbourne lost by a point. All these ex-footballers can do is just make a joke about it and say that OKC weren't going hard, and they weren't being real complimentary. And it just, I nearly called up and just said, can you guys just stick to what you know, and that's football and being dickheads? Just get some people on who cover basketball and would be able to come on and break things down for us. I mean, what they failed to mention was that Westbrook, George, and Carmelo Anthony played the most amount of minutes they've all played in the preseason. They played over 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah, I was going to say that. It's like...
We've been off the plane for... I mean, when I say we, they'd been off the plane for 20 hours when they took the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of a cross-Pacific flight. I mean, that's pretty bloody impressive. And, you know, if it wasn't for a couple of broken plays, they should not have taken the ball inside. They should have been... live and die on the three, go for the win. They could have won that game. They should have won that game.
Casey Prather should have pulled up for the Jays.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Whether he would have hit it or not is another story, but totally wrong to take it into that tall timber.
Because he had the step. He had the step on the defender and then drove it into the crowd. Like, no.
But super proud of... I mean, I'm not a United fan, but super proud of United. They just took it up to them, and it would have been nice to come back with a victory.
I mean, I know we're not really talking about OKC right now, but stuff it. We're Aussie. But, I mean, you talk about a big confidence boost and doing something really positive for Australian basketball. I mean, this whole little experiment that the NBL has worked out with the NBA is exactly what we needed. I mean, if we can't get the games here, let's take the games to them sort of thing. So,
yep, 100%. So if we segue back to the Thunder, somebody had to do it. Good job. Look, I think they can get pretty far on their starters playing a lot of minutes. I think your Cannons and your Feltons and your Dakari Johnsons and these guys are going to come in and give you just a little bit of energy here and there to spell Adams and just if he's in foul trouble, which he's known to be, and to spell some of the other guys. But I don't know. I mean, once they work out who gets shots and where, and there's only one ball. It's not too dissimilar to the sort of conundrum that the Golden State Warriors have to get through, and that's that we've got some guys who are ball dominant scorers, but there's only one ball. Let's work it out. And I think they will. I think they're definitely better than last season's team, and last season's team were pretty bloody good for a one-hit wonder essentially, and Adams crashing the boards and not clearing pathways for Russ to get boards changes the dynamic again. They're going to miss not having Cantor, but I think they're a better team. But I don't think they're over the hump of beating the top seeds. But they're definitely a better team. They're going to be fun to watch.
I mean, it's hard not to give this team a dunk. They're much better than they were last year. From early signs we've seen in preseason, I think there's going to be some time taken to work out the kinks. They'll do that. I don't feel like they're going to be better than, say, a Spurs or a team like that. I just hope they can find the right system to get the most out of the talent on this squad, because that'll make the real difference. So for me, it's a dunk, playoff bound.
I agree.
Yep, they're a big slam dunk, a great off season. I would have liked to have seen them pick up somebody to fill that 2-guard spot, like Dwayne Wade. I thought that, I don't know, there was rumours that Presti had that on the cards. Maybe he did, I don't know. But I think they're better than last season. It's a slam dunk for me. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they hover around that. I don't want to go on record as saying as high as 3, so maybe that 4, 5, or 6 spot in the playoffs. But they're definitely going to the playoffs.
Well, we move now to a team definitely going somewhere, possibly in the opposite direction, the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Maurice Harkless, Noah Vonleh, Jusuf.
The juice.
The juice. The juice.
Nurkic.
Zach Collins. Aminu's still there. Why is Aminu still there? Oh, that's right. They paid that guy, didn't they? That's terrible. Evan Turner, Myers Leonard. Why is Myers Leonard still there? Jesus Christ. And Ed Davis. I love Ed Davis. He's an ex-Grizzlies and ex-Laker too. So
Ex-Laker.
Love Ed Davis.
Ed's great, right? I'll ask you guys the question. Do you feel like this is going to hit ultimatum time where they're going to have to make a call between Lillard and McCollum?
No. I don't think they will.
No, they're going to keep them together.
Ride out mediocre.
No, I don't think it's mediocre. I think they're going to the playoffs this season. I don't think it's that mediocre. I don't think it's that. Yeah, they're going to the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah, without a doubt, they are hands down. You got McCollum, you got Damian Lillard, and you got Nurkic, and you got other guys like Aminu and Davis. Don't you laugh? Don't you laugh?
Okay.
They're going to the playoffs. I'll slap bet that if you want.
Ooh.
Yeah, go on,
They're going to the playoffs.
Wayne, make the bet.
Nah.
They are going to the playoffs. There are not 8 teams that are better than them in the West. There aren't.
Oh, yes, there is.
No.
Wow. I don't know, man. I feel like they're a bit thin right now against some of these other squads. I mean, yeah, were you hoping for a bust-out year from Evan Turner?
This is going to be the year.
This is it. Where he translates.
Nurkic is a very, very good player. They're gonna run a lot through him this year, and he's gonna be in all-star conversations.
He was great towards the end of the year. It's a pity he got hurt at the end of the season.
Great pickup for them. I'm confident in that. I think they've. I can't give their off-season a slam dunk. They haven't done enough. It's a layup for keeping what they've got. They lost. I think they've only lost Alan Crabb, didn't they? That's about it.
Yeah. Did they lose him? Did they lose him, or did they give him away?
They weren't going to pay him what Brooklyn did.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jeez. He's not even getting minutes. Every game I watch of Brooklyn so far, he's been sitting on the bench.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's one of those guys who's, not as advertised, serviceable, but I don't know. He's sort of like that kind of Kelly Oubre, kind of like, do something before I pay you.
Yeah, I was always a little bit mad at Portland because I feel like they invested in the wrong guy. I feel like Burton out in Denver. I feel like he was the better investment.
I don't disagree with that. But, I mean, mine's short and sweet because they haven't really done anything and changed the roster. I just think they're going to be better for a year under their belt with Nurkic as opposed to him coming across from Denver halfway through the season. I think, I think they're playoff bound, not going to make a lot of noise. But as long as you've got Lillard and McCollum healthy and in your backcourt, you're a chance. Lay up and, have fun, Portland.
Vince.
I'm not going to say too much on Portland because I hate them. Hate their coach. Hate Portland. Hate Cancrets. I'm just going to... I like Damian Lillard. I like Ed Davis. I like Nurkic. They're not making the playoffs. It's a massive air ball, and I hope you never win a title.
Ouch.
So salty. I love it.
I really like the fire, and I like the dynamic between Lillard and McCollum. I just feel like the team doesn't get much better past there. I mean, they got a handful of players I like other than those two, but I just feel like this Western Conference has got a whole lot better quickly, and I feel like they are struggling to keep up right now. I don't have them for playoffs. I don't have them for a dunk, and I do not have them for a layup. So, big fat airball for me. Portland miss out.
Yeah, you'll both see. You'll see.
Jeez. Indiana last week, Portland this week. What's going on with
Yeah.
him, Vince?
Oh, well, it's, all that cocaine.
Though I will say this, I think Portland's better than Sacramento. That's all I'm going to say.
Sacramento's making the playoffs, bitch.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the final team in the Western Conference, the Utah Jazz. A big off-season for them. A slap in the face a little bit, but let's get into this roster. Ricky Rubio, Rodney Hood, Joe Ingles, Derek Favors, Rudy Gobert, Joe Johnson, Thabo Sefolosha, I know I messed it up, shut up, Dante Exum, Donovan Mitchell I've been really impressed with, and Exum looks like he's maybe out for season, separated shoulder.
How was that a season-ending injury?
That's what I said maybe. That's what they said.
Hell, no, I know, but they've been reporting it as like, oh, he's out.
I don't know. I didn't see the injury, so was it during a game? Does anyone know, or was it?
Yeah, it was during a game.
Fuck, that was
He
hurt.
was gagging. Of
Oh,
course,
really?
it was during the game. You fool.
I don't know. There could have been fucking arm wrestling out the back. How do I know?
Yeah, look, I agree with what you said. Donovan Mitchell, super impressive.
Man, he's
Really like what I've seen from him. I think they've got a steal there. Look, we all know they lost Gordon Hayward.
who dead to
Right.
me.
Yeah, he's dead to you. So I think it's all going to come down to, and they've said this themselves, they want Rodney Hood to take over and be the man. Has he got it in him? Guess we'll all find out. I don't think he has.
No.
I feel sorry for him. They're on the right track. I think Donovan Mitchell in time, if he can sort of, if he can have a good season and then, develop into a player that could probably slide into that spot that Hayward left, they're young enough to do that whole squad. But yeah, look, I've got them making the playoffs. I love the addition of Rubio. You all know I'm a fan of Rubio. I don't know. I just think they're going to make the playoffs. Favors is healthy again. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Gobert looks to have taken another leap forward in his development. Quinn Snyder, I think we all three of us love Quinn Snyder.
He's so good.
Yeah.
They're hard to read. I'm going to say playoffs. I really think they can make the playoffs. All depends on Rodney Hood, though, if he can pick up the slack.
I don't know if they've changed the tune on that whole Rodney Hood. I think they definitely need him to step up. That's for sure. I think this team last year showed that they could compete and make the playoffs dealing with injuries throughout the season. They're a very deep roster. Essentially, I know they're not playing with Hayward this season, but they've replaced or attempted to replace him. Obviously, they've still got Ingles. They bring in Sefolosha and who's the other guy who came across from Boston? Used to play for Detroit. Swedish.
Jerebko.
Jerebko. Yeah, Jerebko as well. So I feel like they've got enough interchangeable pieces at Hayward's position to change it up if something's not working. The player that really needs to step up and sort of take hold of this franchise is actually Rudy Gobert. I mean, he needs to be that defensive powerhouse that he's been in the past. Obviously, during the playoff run, a few niggly injuries. But, again, you mentioned it. Vince Favors is back to full health now. I like the fact that even with such a big exit, they've essentially kept a lot of the core together. So even though they do lose or could potentially lose Dante Exum, I mean, look, I love Exum, but he wasn't a factor last year either. I've gone on record saying that I think he was quite, trade bait, basically. If they take Dante off this squad, as much as I think that would suck, I mean, they're still a good team. Like, they're still heading where I think they're heading. Love the addition for Ricky Rubio. I mean, he had a 20-point game the other night. I think Snyder's going to be a good coach for him. With so many pieces, I actually like the fit of Rubio, and having a solid point guard is something that this team has actually missed the past few seasons. I was a little bit disappointed to see George Hill leave, but I think Rubio fills that hole. I think he'll probably do what people wanted to do in Minnesota a lot more in Utah. I've got to make him the playoffs. I think it's still a good team. There's still a lot to like with this squad.
All right, well, here's a newsflash, kids. They're 10 games worse than last season, and they've got no chance of making the playoffs. So, for those counting at home, write that one down as well. They are not making the playoffs.
You I don't know what you're on tonight, but
Man, I'm on keep it real with a side of logic.
Oh.
Sorry, Jazz fans, you had a flop of an off season. It wasn't your fault. You got screwed. I get it. The Players Tribune article was well written, but it was shit. And I feel sorry for you. I really do. But you, if you're banking on a healthy Derek Favors, which we're hoping for the 7th season in a row, and Rodney Hood, he's not that guy. He's not going to string together solid performances more than back-to-back nights. He's not. Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't have them in my playoff bracket. Love Coach Snyder. I love some of their pieces, but they're not outscoring enough teams to get themselves into the top 8. An airball, but it's not their fault. They were aiming for the airball. They had full intentions of a dunk, and they got their legs taken out from under them. It's a flagrant foul on Gordon Hayward.
An airball. Oh, man.
They haven't done anything this offseason. They drafted well. Sorry, I'll give them that. They drafted well. That's about it. They haven't done anything, but it's not their fault. I'm hitting that with an asterisk. They get an air ball, but they had their legs taken out from under them.
Drafted well, brought in Ricky Rubio, brought in pieces to replace Hayward. I mean, okay, you can't entirely place Hayward. Air ball? Dang, that's rough.
Now, I don't think bringing in Ricky Rubio is a coup at this stage of Ricky Rubio's career. I don't think that he's non-redeemable, but I don't think... I don't think there were 27, 28 other teams going, oh, shit.
Vince is steaming right now.
Come on, you really, there were 28 other teams going, oh, Rubio's off the table. That never happened. Never happened.
Vince, you're up.
Your call has been disconnected.
You know he's on mute swearing at you, right?
Yeah. The person you have dialed hates you. Please
I'm
press
still
1.
here. I'm just trying to fucking cool down.
They are not making the playoffs. Come on.
They're playoff bound.
I will always defend Ricky Rubio till the day I kick the bucket, which I thought was going to be Sunday. He broke out last season. I'm so angry right now. Look, he's going to prove all the haters wrong. He will get this team to the playoffs. He's got a chip on his shoulder. His jump shot is a lot better. He's going to give him double-figure scoring. And I'll tell you, he'll give him double-figure assists.
Oh,
He gets guys quality shots. He makes guys better. I would rather have him running my team than Jeff Teague.
I don't not like him, but he's not going to make them better. He can't. That's too much pressure to put on him. He's not that good. He's good. I love him, but he's only as good as, it's like a conductor. You're only as good as the instruments you've got. If you give a conductor a cymbal and a recorder, they're going to play the best they can. I mean, and that's him in Utah. He's a fine conductor. I don't think he's surrounded by the instruments that they're going to allow him to make the best possible music.
You'll see.
wow. Awesome. Well, that wraps it up. Our guides to the upcoming season. That was the Western Conference. Guys, we're at episode 299. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
If you want to catch all the other shows before this, you should head over to www.CRTSDE.podbean.com. Yes, we're over Podbean. You guys will find links to the Facebook page, all caps Courtside, where we are there through the week talking all the latest hoops. We also take all our questions for our minisodes, so jump on there, look for the posts, and get on it. If you want to hear more Courtside, sign up for our Season Pass, which is $20 for 12 months of extra access. That includes our Courtside Present shows and our regular weekly show. Episode 300 just around the corner. Guys, it's been emotional. Emotional night.
We can't always agree on everything.
Here it comes.